Hi there, my name is Michael Clarke. I'm a veterinarian here at DePorre Veterinary Hospital. I did not grow up on a farm. I did have a dog growing up, but mostly I was just a big fan of Scooby-Doo. So I've followed kind of a convoluted route to DePorre. Originally I went to the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor with the original intent of becoming a pediatrician because I always loved medicine and I always wanted to have patients that couldn't necessarily speak for themselves, which is still what I'm doing today. While in Ann Arbor, I became very passionate about not only the clinical aspects of medicine, but also the research aspects. And so after graduating, instead of going to medical school, I went to Western Michigan University to complete a master's in reproductive endocrinology through some animal research programs. After that, I worked in a lab, primarily with primates for a couple of years, and during that time I developed a passion for the clinical care of animals that are undergoing research. At the same time, I also developed a passion for teaching and ended up being a professor at Grand Valley State University as well as a couple of community colleges around Michigan, and did that for a few years. And then after I did all this kind of stuff, I decided that becoming a veterinarian made the most sense for me. I don't think of it as I chose to be a veterinarian. I feel like the pathways of my life led me to know that I should be a veterinarian. So I ended up applying to one school, Michigan State, while I was a professor at Grand Valley, thinking that I might get in, I might not, and they ended up accepting me. I really enjoyed veterinary school. I was the president of my class. I really enjoyed the camaraderie of being in veterinary school. And I became very passionate about complex cases that are, mysterious, difficult to solve. Takes a lot of effort to try to, nail down the root cause of these problems. And because of that, as a veterinarian today, I'm very passionate about trying to find the root cause of whatever problem is bringing the animal in, whether or not it be an allergy type issue, arthritis, certain cancers, whatever it is. I'm very interested in trying to nail down that root cause. After becoming a veterinarian, I actually was a captain in the U.S. Army as a veterinarian. I was stationed over in Fort Belvoir by the national capital, the Great Lakes Naval Station, and ended up serving as a veterinarian in 21 states. After completing my time in the Army, I knew that I wanted to come to the Bloomfield area because my wife, Adita, works at OVRS, one of the specialty hospitals around here, and I've been yearning for years to be able to get back here with her. So I specifically chose DePorre because Dr. Beulah, Adita, my wife, she is not only an amazing surgeon in person, but she knows the referring hospitals in the area and had recommended this place because the workups that are sent over to her are always done well. When I came here, I met Dr. Fox, Dr. DeHunt, and the whole team, and it's amazing to go from being a solo veterinarian at different Army bases around the world to having a whole team of people that you can bounce ideas off. I'm also a huge fan of the ultrasound machine here, and I spend most of my days using that. But here at DePorre, it's definitely a culture of people who genuinely like each other. It's a culture of camaraderie within the doctors, and I think that we do very good medicine here. Yeah, I think DePorre's fear-free practice is about as good as it can get. We advocate a lot for different strategies for different animals, whether or not it can be as simple as using environmental techniques to help them be more comfortable or using medications, sometimes combinations of medications, but we are devoted to make sure that an animal who struggles coming in here, ideally long-term, we have some sort of plan for them so that they do come in here and have positive experiences even if we have to poke them. My life outside of work, I would say, is mostly surrounded by family, with my wife and our nephews and my family over in Kalamazoo. I also have an intense pursuit of knowledge that occurs in my brain. I constantly listen to podcasts. I'm interested in law, economics, history. Don't get me going on World War II. I have a big passion for knowledge and will always be pursuing that. But I spend a lot of my time really spending time with my family and just constantly trying to improve myself. I would just say, as somebody with an atypical background in education, research, as well as clinical medicine, I have a huge passion for educating clients too on how to help their dogs and cats long term. So I'm very happy to have these discussions of not just giving an Apoquel a Cytopoint, but really talk about the mechanisms that underlie allergy, or not just giving a Carprof and a GABA, but the mechanisms that underlie arthritis. And I'm really passionate about making owners feel confident that what they're doing for their pet makes sense for their pet and for them. But I'm happy to discuss any type of topic long term. So feel free to call DePorre and set up an appointment with me.